Good morning. Today's welcome to 35 days of Quantum's Liberty. It's the 35th day. Today we're going to do how and why to tap. We are going to start with the karate chop point here. And what this does is it blocks the neurons from being sent to the amygdala. It's 5,000-year-old acupressure points that when you tap on them, they affect meridians in the body, but they also directly affect, so tap along with me while I'm telling you this. They directly affect our subjective and our objective place in the world. So we know from research that the cortisol levels drop by 37% in 1 week of tapping, and the immunoglobulin levels will rise 113% in 1 week of tapping and with meditation. So if you do tapping for 10 minutes a day, and I'm going to teach you the points right now, then you will have a significant increase in your immune system's response. All right? So we can boost your immune system with 10 minutes of tapping every day for a week by 113%. In particular, the IgAs, which are the immunoglobulins in the respiratory tract, which is great for COVID-19 and for the fires here in California. So today I have the little girls, Isabella and Sophia, with me, and also Rachel. 3 little girls from the East Coast. It's a colleague at Yale. And so we are going to be learning the points. Here's the inner eye right here. That's right where the hair ends on your eyebrow. And I take 3 fingers and I go up and down like this. Not like this, but like this on that point, the bone right on the inside of the eyebrow. You can do either one or both. And then the outside of the eyebrow is where the hair ends and where the bone is on the outside of the eye. So you go like that, right there. And then under the eye is right here, very, very gently tapping, like 6-7 times or more. And then under the nose is right here. Under the mouth, or chin point, is right on that little crease there. And under the mouth. And then collarbone, you follow your neck down, and there's this bone right here. You go down about 1 inch and out towards the shoulders about 1 inch. And I use all 5 fingers so I make sure I get the tapping point, the meridian point. And then you can use both hands too. And then under the arm is you raise your arm, and under the armpit, like where the armpit is, you go down 1 hand length and you tap right there. And then the last one is top of the head right here. So we're going to do inside the eye first. And in Quantum's Liberty, we have a book right here that I adore. Amika Zwami is a theoretical physicist who I was lucky enough to have lunch with and enjoyed a conversation with about some of the studies that I was doing and he was doing at Yale. And so what he talks about is, so just follow along with me in the video. Keep on tapping on all the points, just follow. And I'm going to tell you what he says. So in the quantum world, there are 2 ways that an electron behaves, right, or a photon. And one is that it has wave possibilities, and the other is acts like a particle. So there was research that was done that shows that that our thoughts are really powerful. So when we combine our thoughts with tapping on these meridian points, then we create a great release and powerful beliefs. We can connect to powerful beliefs that are inside of us, or emotions that are inside of us, and we can help to release them. So what Amit Goswami, in the theoretical physicist in this book, talks about is he talks about downward causation. And so what they found was that because a photon, so what they did was they had a photon or electron released into a vacuum room. And then they had a monk who was able to empty his mind completely of all thoughts, and they put him outside of the room, right, with a big window. And so they said, well, what you have to do is, what we'd like you to do is empty your mind completely, and just every once in a while, randomly, we want you to think the electron is there, or the electron is there, and just randomly do it with no timing, whatsoever that you know of. And so what happened was they also hooked up the electron to a Geiger counter, which measures a radioactive frequency wave. And so when the Geiger counter saw that the electron became matter, it emits a radio frequency wave, and the Geiger counter goes click. So when the monk was hooked up to a PET scan, then the PET scan read the glucose that was traveling along the neuron, and the PET scan would go click when the monk had a thought. But if he didn't have a thought, then there was no click. And if the electron did not have matter, then if it was not a particle and it was a possibility, there was no click. But if it became a possibility, if it became matter, then it would click. So the Geiger counter would click. So what they did was they found that every time the monk had a thought, the electron is there. So the electron is in a field of possibilities. It's got infinite possibilities of where it could be in this vacuum. And this is how the quantum field operates. So, and we are quantum matter. We are quantum field. And so we're both. So we can create very powerfully our healthy bodies. So what we're going to do is, in the experiment that is replicable many times, is that Amit found that it was downward causation occurs when the electron becomes matter. Everything, all other possibilities fade away, and only that point, and the electron actually becomes matter. So it converts from a wave of possibilities when thought says it's there. The electron becomes matter, and all other possibilities fade away, and it registers a click on the Geiger counter. It has mass. It's different. But it is it. And that's what we all are. So Amit says downward causation. So what happened in this experiment was that, and it's replicable many times, is that the monk would think the electron is there, and the Geiger counter and the PET scan simultaneously would go click, and so the monk would empty his mind again, and the electron would become wave of possibility again, and then the monk would think the electron's there. And so simultaneously, the PET scan and the Geiger counter would click. And it was almost simultaneously. The thought was registering 9 times 10 to the negative 27th power faster than the actual Geiger counter click. So it was almost, very almost simultaneously. And they could do this with the monk someplace else, outside of the building too. But every time the monk thought, well, the electron is right there in the room, click. The PET scan and a Geiger counter would click. So we're going to say today, we're going to have a vision of perfect radiant health. Even though so picture yourself in perfect, beautiful, radiant health, and we'll do one around. Even though I have this little block to a vision of perfect radiant health, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this little block to seeing everyone in radiant health, I deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. Even though I have this vision that is obstructed by a little bit of something in me, and I can't seem to quite hold the vision of perfect radiant health, I know I can change that. And I deeply and completely love and accept me. Eyebrow, inner eye, I love radiant health. Outer eye, I am radiant health. Under the eye, I take in all this radiant health. Under the nose, I walk with radiant health. Chin, I talk with radiant health. Collarbone, I breathe with radiant health. Under the arm, I perceive with radiant health. Top of the head, I am radiant health, wholly and completely, exactly as I am, in mind, body, and spirit. Have a great day.